I would like to welcome you to part 2 to What If Deku Had Ate the Gum Fruit. Let's get into it. Okay, well, I'm sorry, before we get into this, I just want to ask you guys something, and this might sound really stupid, but, I was thinking of doing, like, an audio book. Like, I've actually kind of wrote like this action adventure book in my spare time, and maybe if you guys want to see that, I can get someone to like draw the character for me, and I can like use that, and I can read the story out for you guys and post it to the channel. Tell me what you think. I know it's probably stupid. I'm just the guy you come to for your dose of what ifs. Sorry for being dumb. Let's get into it, shall we? Anyway, so when we last left Deku off, you guys were I left you guys on a cliffhanger, I hope. On Deku holding the Maramara no Mi in his hand. And we're gonna jump right into it. Deku held the odd-looking fruit in his hand. And for a second, he thought, the first one that I ate gave me a quirk. And without thinking about it, he just threw the Maramara no Mi into his mouth and ate it. What follows next is something incredibly horrifying. And if you don't want to hear a very graphic description of Deku's pain, I don't know what to tell you. So, okay, skip to 2 minutes and 40 seconds, okay? Cool. Anyway, Deku falls to the ground as blood coughs up from his mouth. His stomach starts to burn as blood splatters out of his thing. His eye bleeds as his blood turns black and dripping down his face. He screams in agony, clutching his stomach with a hole burning through it and his eye bleeding. He tries to make it down the stairs, only to slip and fall and fall and fall. He opens his eyes, confused to what happened. And he wakes up in the hospital. And he feels his left eye, and it's gone. And he's scared. He doesn't know what to do. He just ate a fruit and his eye burned. Well, we obviously know what this is. In One Piece, one person cannot eat more than one devil fruit. But you'll be surprised at what I have in store for you. You probably can guess it from the get-go, but whatever. Anyway, Deku's in this hospital, and as he holds his eye and his patched up stomach, he looks at his mom and he asks her what happened. She said, "I don't know. I came home and I found you on the floor. Your eye was bleeding and there was a hole in your stomach, like someone used a fire quirk on you. I told them about how Katsuki Bakugo was bullying you, and they arrested him. He claims he didn't do it, but they have him in holding." And then she's like, "Do you remember anything?" And Deku holds his hand over his eye for a second and is like, "No." He generally doesn't remember. He's not trying to like get Bakugo in trouble or anything. But at this point, I'm trying to stray as far away from the original storyline as possible. I know most What If YouTubers do that, but it's kind of boring because it's like you in your own head can just think up, oh, Deku had the Gummo fruit in this fight. He just make his hand big and punch. No. It's still going to be the same villains, but it's a new setting, a new situation, new cause and effect, people. So, okay. And I'm not breathing that hard. I mean, I do breathe pretty hard sometimes, but I just have like this weird condition. Like when I get really anxious or nervous, I just can't breathe through my nose because I breathe so fast. But because I have my phone really close to my face, like watch. Like that was like a low breath, but it probably sounds really heavy and hard to you guys. So I'm sorry if the audio is kind of messed up because of my breathing. I'm trying to get like a mic that can filter it out, but obviously I have to save up my allowance. What a pain. So guess I'm just gonna have to bear with me for a little while. Anyway, Deku goes to the bathroom, and as he sits on the covered toilet seat, he ponders to himself, all I remember was putting the food in my mouth. Then he stretches his hand outside the room to go get a new change of clothes because he's being released. He's been in there for about 5 weeks now. And as he reaches his thing, he pulls his clothes back. He jumps into the shower and he starts to bathe. He reaches out for the soap, and as he starts lathering himself, he notices that his shoulder is kind of hot. So he looks at feels the water on his shoulder, and he notices there's no water going at his shoulder. And he starts to get kind of scared because it's like, what the hell is happening to me? And so, this is a design for his costume, by the way, like his hero outfit. There's another one coming. You guys can decide which one you like better, first one or second one. Comment first, comment 1, or comment 2. I'll check the votes in the comment section, and the one that I see that's commented the most frequently is Thing. Personally, I kind of like this one because it's different. Like, I'm trying to be different. I'm not trying to conform myself to the story. I'm not saying there won't be the same bad guys. I'm saying that it's going to be different. Because if I'm like every other what if YouTuber out there, I'll be lost in the stream of better what if YouTubers with better gear who's more experienced than me. I've been on YouTube for a year and I've tried a whole different bunch of stuff. And this is the only thing that sticks and I actually like to do. So, I hope that I can keep doing this for as long as I can. Anyway, so he notices that his head is on fire, and then he freaks out. It's like his hand, it doesn't hurt him. So he stretches his rubber body outside, and he turns on the sink, and the sink things the flames out. And he's freaking out, like, what the hell? My hand was on fire, and you know that can't be like Thing. Okay, now I'm gonna explain to you why this is. Okay, so in the manga, currently, Deku realized that he can access the quirks of different Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert! If you don't want to hear this, honestly, skip to about, let's just say 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Okay, so Deku figured out that he can access the quirks of other people who have used One for All, right? And so because of that, because he died in the moment where the Mara no Mi started burning him from the inside out, he died. And when he died, the power of flame was taken into the quirk. And he, unknowingly, because pieces of the fruit are still in his system, the fruit's power being stored in his quirk, in his second quirk, and the fruit being in his system is reacting like that. So, that's the reason that his hands catch on fire. Okay? So, anyway, Deku's freaking out about the fact that how his hands are on fire right now, and he has no clue what to do whatsoever. So, now Deku's freaking out, and he goes to All Might, and he's like, All Might, my hand is catching on fire. And All Might just looks at him and he's like, covers his mouth, and he's like, so soon? And then Izuku looks at him and he's like, what are you talking about? All Might looks at him. His brows knitted in confusion, and then he rubs his hand through his messy blonde hair, and he's like, Izuku, One for All is a quirk that stockpiles powers, person by person. You are currently the strongest wielder of One for All. And then he's like, yeah, you told me this already, All Might. And All Might is like, but there have been other people to hold the quirk. And then he's like, I know that, All Might. And All Might's like, wait, I'm not done. And then he's like, other people that have had powers, and their powers have been stored inside the quirk, so that when they pass the quirk on, the One for All on, their power was saved within the quirk. And then he's like, so You currently have all the abilities and skills of every single one of the people before you. I guess that someone before me or my master's master might have had a fire quirk. And because they had that fire quirk, it seems to be the first quirk that's acting up in you. And then he looks at him, he's like, "Oh my, have you been able to access these quirks?" And Oh my just looks at him and he bows his head in shame and he's like, young Midoriya, my master was only able to access her master's quirk. Now, in the manga recently, you know what? Spoiler. If you don't, you know what? Whatever. No, I'm not gonna say nothing, okay? Let's just say that Nana, or whatever, Nana Shimura or something, All Might's mentor can use her mentor's powers, and he's like, I was only able to use it as basically as possible with strength and stuff. And Nezuko's like, interesting. So, anyway, Izuku is coming out from school one day, and two people walk up to him. Momoa from class 1B, and the scourge of all fucking My Hero Academia himself, Mineta. Disgusting purple pervert. Anyway, so Momoa challenges Deku. Interesting to see if he can emulate Deku's quirk. So Deku's like, you got it. And then they ask for a training room. And then Mineta's like, I want to fight you too, Izuku. And so Momoa comes off. And he's like, you throw the first punch. And Deku is weary of it. So he's a bit cautious. So he stands his ground, gets into a fighting stance formation, one of his legs forward, and then he throws the first punch, a flying gum pistol, and Momoa takes it directly in the face. He breaks the guy's nose upon impact. Momoa takes it back, and then he gets up, and he stretches his hand up, saying, interesting. And then he throws the first punch at Deku. Deku realizes, oh shit, he's got my quirk now. So he shoots himself up into the air, and then he inhales like a bunch of air, causing his lungs to fill up with air, expanding ever so slightly, causing his body to turn into a giant ball. And he uses his tiny little stubby cartoon legs to push himself forward. And he calls this Super Rocket Mode! And he blasts himself directly on Momoa. Momoa doesn't know how to use Deku's quirk defensively, because Deku has had years to practice. So Momoa is like, fine. And he stands his ground. And he tries to throw a big punch at Deku. And the punch hits Deku directly in his rubbery gut, and then the punch bounces off of him, and then Momoa's hand just comes flying back at him. I swear to God, if I'm saying his name wrong, roast the fuck out of me in the comment section, bro. I'm not even playing with y'all. Roast the fuck out of me. Because I have to get it right. Because if I have a bigger fan base, people are not going to be so nice and ignore my bad pronunciation. Anyway, so Momoa, just because of the recoil, he gets slammed into the wall, and his head starts to bleed. And Deku's still shooting forward in Rocket Man mode. And then he, in his rubbery ball form, he exhales, he's sending out a large gust of wind as Momoa steps up with his busted up head. And the wind blows him back down onto his knees, only for now Deku at his normal size to zigzag his way directly in front of Momoa, launching himself back up into the air. But this time, instead of going up as a ball, he just lets himself to come down, and Momoa thinks that this is his time, charging up a punch. Deku actually is exhaling as he falls, and he gets smaller and smaller, and then he gets small to the point where Momoa wouldn't really notice. Momoa tries to punch him. Deku ducks, sneaks into Momoa's chest, and then stands still as a board and shoots his head into the guy's stomach, sending him flying back. But Momoa's just getting pissed. And so he uses another quirk that he copied earlier. Let's just say it's some cement quirk that he saw a construction worker using in the morning. And he creates a cement wall to hit Deku in the face. And Deku gets really pissed. He grits his teeth and he's like, so it's like that, huh? And then he smirks and he's like, fine. It's exactly like that. He stands his ground and he looks him in the face. This just got a whole hell of a lot interesting. And he puts both of his fists back and he runs to the cement wall that Momoa's made around himself. Momoa knows that he can't outclass him with his own quirk. So he's doubling down on the cement quirk, creating a cement dome around himself, hardening the front part the hardest. Because the back part is around, Deku would have to jump like out of the building that they're in and hit from the back wall. And that take too much energy out of him. So he stands there and he says, super rubber cannon! And then she's just a Gatling gun of punches. Every punch busting on the concrete a little by little. But Momoa's not having that. So while Deku was breaking his thing, he makes two hand motions, up and down. Deku, without him realizing, cement comes from the roof and from the ground, smushing Deku in a pain sandwich. And then he makes a drilling formation with his hand, and the top one drills into Deku, his rubber body barely withstanding the impact of it. Momoa grins, knowing, if I can beat the strongest guy in Class 1A, I'll fight my way into that class, because I'm tired of being bottom of the barrel. And so Momoa, feeling all cocky, rises to the top of his cement structure, shoots another one from one side and another one on the other side. So the top one is drilling into Deku, and there's one pushing him into the drill, and there's two on the sides keeping him in place. So Deku's stuck. And then he just screams out a war cry, and his skin starts to be encased in black material. And then Momoa's confused, but his cement drill starts to crack and crack and crack, and Momoa's like, crap, and it breaks. This is Deku's first use of armament hockey, mainly in his whole body, but it takes a lot out of him. The blackness slowly regresses down his body, only to just his hands, and Deku, just getting more furious at the fact that Momoa tried to play dirty. Momoa sinks back into his structure, and Deku just stands up and launches a fiery punch. Well, not actually fire, like a really intense punch at the structure, damaging it, just cracking through his shell.